guys, welcome to your Pilates. For today we are going to be working through a cardio Pilates with a focus on our glutes. There is the option to add in a bit of an arm burn as well. I'm going to be using 1 kilo dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells, you can head over to the cupboard and see if you've got some cans of tomatoes, cans of beans will work as a great alternative to dumbbells, but they are completely optional as well, and if you don't use them, you'll still be getting a great cardio workout. Making sure that we are listening to our body today, taking the options that are going to work best for us, and if anything doesn't feel right, definitely stop. Make sure you're seeking medical advice if anything doesn't feel right, and join back in if and when you are ready. So we're going to get stuck straight into it. We'll combine our warm-up with our first move here. So if you're using dumbbells or cans, pop them towards the right side of your mat. We're going to turn to our right here. Our feet are going to be in line with our hips and our knees. We're going to have a slight bend in our knees, and we're going to bend forward from our hips as well. Making sure that our shoulders are back and down, and that we're keeping a nice neutral spine. Our right leg is going to be our supporting leg here, as our left leg taps to behind us and then draws back in to meet that opposite leg. So it's going to tap behind us and draw back in. Slow and controlled here. Now we are just focusing on warming up, making sure that we're breathing with the movement. Inhale as you extend that leg back. Exhale as you draw it back in to meet your other foot. Our eye gaze is going to be out in front of us, so we are not looking down at our feet. We want to keep that neutral spine by looking out in front of us. Now this will be a good time to just grab your dumbbells as well, because we are going to add on in a moment here. So let's go for 10 more of these toe taps. Hopefully you're starting to really feel it into that right stabilizing glute, maybe into your calf muscle a little bit as well. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and on this last one, step back long and strong into our high lunge. So in our high lunge, we are going to have a bent right leg at the front, and every time we extend our left leg back, it is going to be straight. We're going to push through our heel of our right leg and come up to standing. Left knee comes forward and it's got a bend in it. Reach that left leg back, 90-degree bend in our right leg at the front. Push through to standing. Now, if at any point during today's workout, your balance or your stability is being a little bit too challenged, just grab yourself a chair and you can just lightly rest your hands on that chair in front of you. Now, if you're ready to add on, we're going to add in those arms. So as you extend your left leg back, extend those arms out in front of you, and then draw everything in to meet in the middle. We've got our first little cardio burst here. And just while we're here, checking in with those hips and make sure that they both are still tracking and facing forward in the same direction. Starting to get that heart rate up here, starting to feel that burn in that right stabilizing leg. Let's go for 10. We've got 9, breathe through it. 8, 7, shoulders maybe starting to burn here. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep a bend in your right leg. Left leg taps forward, dumbbells to chest. Left leg taps back behind you with a bend in your right leg. We're just going to come to some lift and lowers here of that left leg. So we had a bit of a cardio burst. Now we're bringing it back down, challenging our stabilizing muscles in that right leg, and our balance. Embrace the shakes. We've got 3. We've got 2. We've got 1. Drop that left leg down to the floor. Turn to face forward. So what we're going to do here is come into a plie squat. Our feet are going to be wider than hip distance apart, and our toes are going to be turned out. We're also going to have an external rotation through the hips so that our knees are tracking over our toes. We're coming into our plie squat. So I want you to have a nice straight back here. Head is up towards the ceiling. And as you come down, you are going to have a slight tuck under of the hips so that our bottom drops down towards the floor, and then we push back up through our heels. Imagine that you are sliding your back down a wall and the back is staying nice and straight here. Dumbbells can just rest at your chest in front of you. We'll add them in very shortly if you would like to take that next extension. So we're coming up for 2 counts, down for 2 counts, up for 2 counts, down for 2 counts. Now if you would like to add those arms in, then we're going to add them on the push up phase. So as you push up through your heels, we're going to alternate between a lateral raise out to the side and a frontal raise out in front of you. Now remember, that is just an add-on. We're working at getting that heart rate up. If you are taking the option to add in your dumbbells, then just make sure that there is space between your shoulders and your ears, and that we're not hunched up like this. Heart rate is starting to build, starting to get puffed here, but do not forget to breathe. Let's go for 3 more. We've got 2, we've got 1. Dumbbells come to chest, lower down and hold. We're going to pulse it out here. So really focusing on feeling it in those inner thighs. Back is still nice and straight. Let's pulse it out for 5. Slow and controlled. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold in your half squat here. Lifting up our right heel, dropping it down. Left heel, dropping it down. A little bit of active recovery here where we catch our breath before we go into our next little cardio burst. Now for this one, you are going to be able to just drop those dumbbells on the ground in front of you, so we can really just focus on those inner thighs burning. And you may be ready here to add in a double calf raise. You might want to try a few, and then you can always go back to single if it's too much. Let's go for 5, 4, feeling it in the calves, feeling it in the inner thighs, core is engaged, shoulders are down. 2, 1, drop those heels down, come up to standing, just give those legs a little bit of a shake out. All right, so we're going into our next cardio burst here. We are going to be starting in a plie squat. So set up your squat with those toes facing out, external rotation in the hips, so your knees are tracking over your toes. We're going to drop down, and as we come up, we're going to push through the left heel, right toe taps out in front of us. Come back into your plie squat, drop down as we push up, left toe taps in front of the right. So as we drop down, we are coming into a plie squat, and then we're using our inner thighs to bring that opposite leg and toe, to tap out in front of us. We're starting to build that heart rate up again. You may find that this is enough of a cardio burst here for you if you would like to add on. As you come down into your plie squat, you're going to use your momentum push up, cross those legs over, come back down or jump back down into your plie squat, and then alternate each time. So each time we are jumping those feet into the middle, we have the opposite toe crossing over. Keep your chest up high, keep breathing. We've got 5, 4, 3, my goodness, those inner thighs, 2, 1, land with control. Shake out those hips and take a second here just to catch your breath. Walking those heels out. Bit of active recovery, still moving through those legs, but just catching our breath. Take 2 deep inhale breaths. Exhale. 1 more here. Alright, come back into your plie squat. We're going to push down into our squat. As we push up, we're going to turn to face the right side, drop down into a lunge, face your front for a plie, and then over to the left side, down into lunge. So we are alternating here between a lunge and a plie squat. And we're going to find rotation through those toes to help us transition in between each of these moves. When you come into your lunge, make sure our hips are facing forward, we're bending through our knees, plio, and then same thing on the other side here. Just gonna go for 2 more each side. Last one here over to the right, plie squat, and finish facing towards the left side of your mat. Same thing, so we're going to repeat what we started on the other side with our left leg now being our stabilizing leg. So toes underneath the knees, underneath hips, slight bend in those hips, and we are leaning forward from our hips as well. Sorry, slight bend in those knees. Our right leg now is going to tap behind us, draw it back into center. Tap behind us, draw it back into center. So again, we've got some active recovery. We're catching our breath. We're working on our balance. We can grab a chair if we need to. Our hips are facing forward. Our eye gaze is forward, sort of slightly down towards the ground, but we want to avoid any drastic changes in our neck or movement in our neck so that we can have that nice neutral spine here. Now, if you haven't already grabbed your dumbbells, now is the time to grab your dumbbells and just hold them at your chest in front of you. The last few chances here just to catch your breath before we go into our next little cardio burst. So you've got 3, 2, 1. Right leg steps back long and strong for our high lunge. Remember, our left leg is going to be straight now, and we're going to have the bend, our right leg is going to be straight, and we're going to have the bend for our left leg. Hips are facing forward, starting to get the shakes in that left leg that's doing all the stabilizing. And as we draw forward, we're going to stand up through our left leg, right knee comes forward and through. Step back into our deep high lunge, and then we come through. So each time we're stepping back, that right leg is straight, and each time we're pushing through our heel, we straighten through our left leg, but we're avoiding any locking out through that knee. So keep a nice soft knee here. Option to add in those arms. So each time you extend back for your lunge, extend those arms out long in front of you. And as you draw everything back into center, those arms will come in to your side waist. Breathing through here. Definitely starting to feel the sweat, starting to feel the shakes. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, feel that left calf working, 2, and 1. Right leg comes in to meet left leg. That right leg is going to tap behind us. Keep that bend in your left leg. We've got lift and lowers here. Really feeling that burn into the left stabilizing leg now. Make sure that those hips are still facing forward. Use your breath. Use your chair if you need to. We've got 5, 4, you've got this, 3, we can push through to the end, 2, and 1. Step that leg forward, shaking out those legs, walking them out. Dumbbells are going to come down towards the ground. We've got one more little cardio core burst to finish the class, and then we'll go into a little bit of a cool down. So we're going to roll down, lean with our head, bending our knees to protect our hamstring and our lower back. Hands find the ground, step up or back into your high plank here. Now remember, if high plank is too much for you, you can come down into your half plank. We're going to once again have some active recovery, holding a stabilizing movement here for 10, for 9, for 8, core engage, pushing up through those shoulders, eye gaze in front. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop those knees down. Find your child's pose. The next move we're going to come into is one of my favorites. We're going to come into what's called a crouching tiger. So we're going to be in a full plank or high plank. We're going to push ourselves back with a bend in our knees, over our bottoms and our heels, and then we prance forward into our full lunge. So using our shoulder strength to push us back. Imagine this is the tiger, ready to push forward. So we've got our crouching tiger to finish. As you come forward into your high plank, make sure that we don't have an arch or our bottom up in the air. We want to keep it nice and straight. From the tip of our head down through our toes. Last little cardio burst. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, feeling it in those quads. Last one. Drop those knees down. Find your child's pose. Arms extended out in front of you. Forehead can rest down on the mat if that's available to you. If not, 2 fists underneath your forehead and rest your forehead onto those fists. Allow yourself to just catch your breath here. 3 big inhales and exhales. And then what we're going to do, help me Tyson, come in to join us. Your right leg is going to extend back behind you. Your left leg is going to bend forward and we will find our pigeon pose here. Again, we're holding these movements, but we're also working on just catching that breath, bringing that heart rate back down. From here, we'll find our cat and our cow stretch. So from 4-point kneeling, finding an arch now round through our back. One more here. This time your left leg will extend behind you. Your right knee will bend in front of you. Again, finding your pigeon pose. Catching your breath and feeling a beautiful stretch through your hips. With the world opening back up, my hips are definitely feeling tighter with the different movements. So just having a few breaths here. When you're ready, drop that right bottom down onto the floor. Your legs are going to come around, kind of cross-legged position, facing forward. Our right arm is going to extend up as our left elbow finds the ground. And we'll just work through our sideways tears into our spine. There's a bit of mobility. It's a final opportunity to catch our breath and bring that heart rate down. Hopefully you are feeling worked out, that your heart rate was up through, and that you got a good burn throughout your glutes as well. Enjoy the rest of your day, and well done on making some time for you.